The mythical story of Cloelia begins in the dark days of war, when Rome was still young, still struggling for survival against mighty foes. The Etruscans, led by their king Lars Porsena of Clusium, had marched upon Rome. The city's walls trembled under siege, its people feared for their freedom. Yet Rome was not without cunning, and after many battles and bold defenses, an uneasy peace was struck. To seal the truce, hostages were demanded, youths of Rome, noble sons and daughters, given into Porsena's keeping to guarantee the city's word. Among those taken was Cloelia, a maiden of noble birth, scarcely more than a girl, yet already fierce in spirit. She and her companions were led away to the Etruscan camp, their chains more of honor than iron, but chains nonetheless. To most, captivity meant despair, but to Cloelia, it was a challenge to be met. In the quiet of night, while guards grew careless, Cloelia spoke to the other maidens. "Are we not Romans?" she said. "Do we not belong to a city that would rather burn than bow? Shall we, the daughters of Rome, sit idle while our brothers fight and bleed for freedom? No. If the men of Rome defend her walls, then the women of Rome must defend her honor." Her courage lit their hearts. Together they devised a daring plan. By day they watched the camp. By night they whispered of escape. And when the moment came, Cloelia led them forth. They slipped past the guards, moving like shadows toward the river. There, before them rushed the Tiber, broad and swift, swollen with winter rains. To cross it was near impossible, even for strong men. But Cloelia did not falter. She cast aside her cloak, lifted her eyes to the sky, and leapt into the waters. The current roared, the cold bit deep, but she struck out with arms strong and sure. One by one, the maidens followed, clinging to one another, swept onward by the torrent. The river fought them, dragging them down, hurling waves against their faces. Yet Cloelia's voice rang clear above the storm. "Hold fast! Rome awaits us! The Tiber may test us, but it cannot conquer Roman hearts!" At last, battered but unbroken, they reached the Roman shore. Soaked and shivering, yet alive, they stumbled into the city they had left in chains. The people of Rome, astonished at the sight, gathered around them in wonder. News spread like wildfire. Cloelia, the maiden hostage, had defied the Etruscans and brought her sisters home. The Senate praised her daring, but they trembled as well. A treaty sworn with Lars Porsena had been broken. Surely the Etruscan king would rage at such defiance and renew his war. And indeed, word soon came. Porsena demanded that the hostages be returned, Cloelia among them. Many in Rome cried out against it, unwilling to give back the girl who had shown such bravery. But Cloelia herself stood before the Senate and spoke, "You fear that I will be punished for what I have done. Yet I tell you, I do not regret it. Better to risk death than to live in dishonor. If it is Rome's will that I return, I will go gladly. For I am Roman, and I keep faith, even with my enemies." Awed by her resolve, the Senate agreed. Cloelia returned to the Etruscan camp, not as a prisoner dragged in chains, but as a heroine who chose to keep her oath. Lars Porsena, hearing her words and seeing her courage, was struck with admiration. "Here is a maiden, greater than many warriors," he said. "She defied my guards, braved the river, and yet returned of her own free will. Such spirit deserves not punishment, but honor." He granted her a gift rare indeed, the right to choose half of the remaining hostages and set them free. Without hesitation, Cloelia chose the youngest of the boys, those least able to endure captivity, those most in need of protection. Thus, her courage not only saved herself, but spared many others from hardship. Rome never forgot her deed. A statue was raised in her honor, not in secret corners, but in the sacred way, the heart of the city. There, astride a horse, Cloelia was shown to all, a maiden among generals, remembered not for beauty or marriage, but for bravery, loyalty, and faith. And so the tale of Cloelia endures, a reminder that courage is not only the realm of warriors, nor loyalty only the duty of men. In the face of chains, a young girl defied fear, defied captivity, and proved that the spirit of Rome burned as fiercely in its daughters as in its sons. Even now, when the Tiber flows dark beneath Rome's bridges, one may imagine the shape of maidens swimming through its currents, led by Cloelia, the girl who escaped chains and turned captivity into glory.